everyone, Digfig here, and today we're going to talk about The Division. I've been asked a lot what my opinions of the drama that's been happening with Skill Up's video about how the game is too easy, if I'm going to come back for 1.4, if you think we should go back for 1.4, and what's my thoughts overall about The Division in its current state. So those are the things I'm going to go over in this video, but first I just want to explain the footage you guys are watching in the background. This is me playing on the public test server today. I'm in the underground, set on challenging mode, solo, and as you guys can see from my gear, it's nothing special. I don't even have a 4-set running yet. I'm not specialized in anything. My skills are a mess, and my guns are not good. And reaching this level of gear was incredibly easy, and it should be attainable for everyone no matter what level of skill you are. Now let's talk a little bit about this YouTube drama and the community drama. I hate drama, but I'll give you guys my 2 cents. When I logged into the PTS for the first time and fired up the game, I was in 209 gear, and I went to the underground, or I fired it up in challenging mode for the first mission, and I basically face rolled the enemies. It was incredibly easy. I wasn't even in the best gear for the bracket. I was in 209 gear, not 229 gear. So I should have got my ass whooped, basically, and I didn't. Since he released that video and since that day, the developers came out and said it was a bug, that they nerfed him by 30% when they only meant to nerf him by 15%, and I've logged in and played since then, and that's the footage you guys are watching now. You can see that in my half-ass mediocre gear, I have to use cover, fall back from the enemies. It takes a lot of bullets to kill them. They almost kill me a few times. I have to use my skills, and I have to play the game, which was tons of fun for me. I loved this challenge level for me personally. But I know I'm a decent player. Some people would call me one of those no-life YouTube streamers who is way too good at video games for their own good. So I understand that at this current difficulty and the current gear set I'm in, this would be unobtainable for a lot of people, and it would be very difficult. I think the biggest misconception in The Division patch 1.4 is that you have to play the game at the hardest difficulty to obtain the best gear. Where I have an example that I'm going to tell you guys about right now. You're watching me play this mission, and this mission took me 19 minutes and 34 seconds to complete on challenging mode, and I came out of it with 5 pieces of the best gear in the game, 229. And then I went up the table, I started up a mission on the easiest difficulty, and I ran through it in 6 minutes and 20 seconds, and I got 3 pieces of the best gear in the game. So it's actually more effective to play the game on an easier difficulty and run it faster to get more of the best gear in the game than it is to play on the hardest difficulty. Because the gear you get out of easy and challenging is identical, it's just the volume is different. Now the second part of the drama, which I seem to have picked up on, was that RNG is a beepin' bastard. And it's true, it is, but in 1.4, there are tons of options for customizing your gear. You can re-roll your weapons, the talents on them. You have slots in your backpacks to get the proper skill upgrades on them. There's a lot more loot, and there's a lot more ways to re-roll it, and that combined makes it far easier to specialize and get the gear you want for your character. So I don't even know where I'm going with this at this point. It's basically your casuals will be able to play the game on the easiest difficulty and get the same exact loot as your most skilled players playing at the hardest difficulty. That's my 2 cents on all the drama, and I hoped it cleared some things up. I hope the casuals realize that they will be able to obtain all the exact same gear as your hardcore players. And I hope they realize that, to be honest, the hardcore players are probably going to be grinding the easiest difficulty because it's faster and more efficient to get the better loot, which is a whole nother problem, and I hope the devs do something about that on their own. So the game is completely accessible no matter what your skill level is, be it the hardest mode or the easiest mode, it's all super obtainable. And now moving on to the should you come back part. Hopefully my points got across in the last part and it was coherent for everyone, but it could not be, and who knows, maybe I'll get a bunch of backlash. But should you come back to the Division in 1.4? I think it's worth a try. The changes are really fun. Enemies die a lot quicker. You don't die as fast. You can stay out more. You can get shots off. You can trade rounds with enemies. It feels more engaging and exciting. You're not just getting 2-shot and shut down. And when you do die, there's still enough room to where you go, oh, this is where I screwed up. I stayed out of cover too long. I didn't watch my right side. You can identify what you screwed up on, and it makes you want to go back and try again because you think you can do better. And that's a really good challenging level to meet as a developing team. The gunplay is amazing. All the guns have different feels now. Your SMGs are still really low recoil. Your assault rifles actually kick now, and you have to drag your mouse down. There's gunplay, and you actually have to be skilled at countering the recoil. So they've done a really good job of making the gunplay better, the gunfights better, and feeling more like a badass, because you actually take down a bunch of enemies in a fairly rapid amount of time. And it's actually quite fun. So that's my short rant on if you should go back. I think it's definitely worth a try if you enjoyed the game and want to enjoy it again. I'm sure you will. Now for my overall thoughts on patch 1.4. I think it's a solid patch. It's a good patch. I'm worried about some of the bugs if they don't get fixed, and I'm really worried that it's easier to farm the easiest mode to get the same gear as it is on the hardest difficulty, where it's like I'm just going to do the hardest difficulty because I'm having fun or playing, but I'm not being rewarded for my time invested. And it kind of brings it down to where I feel like I'm wasting my time playing on the hardest difficulty when I could just play on the easiest difficulty. There doesn't seem to be any incentives to go PvP because you can get all of the best stuff outside the Dark Zone. So I honestly think the Dark Zone is just going to be a gank fest, and there's going to be really no point to go there. It's going to be a mess, and there's just really no incentive to PvP. There's no better stuff, good stuff. There's just nothing. So that scares me. But if you're a PvEer and you like grinding and you love loot and sifting through it and specializing your character, I think it's definitely worth going back. And I hope you guys enjoy it. And I'm going to be giving it another shot. I'll be playing that along with other games. I'll still be making videos for both. I might transition the Division to a PvE only game because, as I said, there seems to be no real point for PvP. So I might do some build videos on my PvE builds and just sticking around. I hope you guys enjoyed my rant about the Division. I hope it was coherent enough for everyone. Sometimes my brain is a freaking mess and I don't know what I'm talking about. But thank you guys for watching. Have a good time, and I hope to see you guys in the Division or in other games. Dig out.